'Tis football season, and with that comes yummy tailgating food. Registered dietitian Crystal West is here to give us a healthy twist on those famous tailgating snacks. Also, favorite tailgating snack.
Yes.
Crystal, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we are talking about some of our favorites. I see some buffalo chicken dip, I see some 7-layer dip, but we're kind of making some healthy twists on them, right?
Yes. So when we're thinking of eating healthier, sometimes we kind of get on these kicks of everything always has to be healthier.
Right.
We can get a little obsessive with that. So especially when tailgating, we still want to enjoy it. So if you can take a recipe you like, make it a little bit healthier by changing up a couple ingredients or changing the portion size, that'll make a huge difference.
All right, and we are talking about the 7-layer dip. Yeah. Always a favorite at tailgate. Something so easy, but something that people can definitely overeat.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking at something kind of like a portion control, right?
So this is actually just like the little 9-ounce punch cups. So at the very bottom we do have the black bean dip, and then followed we have corn, so we're thinking of kind of getting more of those food groups like we have over here on the My Plate. Then we have guacamole, so in that guacamole we've got the avocado, we've got a little cilantro, tomatoes, and onions. Then we have the plain Greek yogurt as we have over here.
Right.
So that's going to substitute for sour cream. You could use a low-fat sour cream. This is just going to increase the protein, be a little bit better choice. Then we have some salsa. You could make it homemade yourself, but I didn't want to overdo it here.
Right.
The salsa on top is easier. Little lettuce and a little cheese, and when we're thinking of that punch cup, that's going to keep it in better portions.
Right.
What we tend to do is sit there and either dip at all the quesos and the 7-layer dip.
Right, this kind of just is yours.
Absolutely. So you got it, and that's kind of it. So
that's
kind of
wonderful. And they're cute too. I mean, who wouldn't love walking up to a tailgate and seeing those? And you're actually showing us how we make our own tortilla chips.
So we've actually got, as you can see up there, we have got the homemade tortilla chips. So here I'm just taking a whole wheat tortilla. When we're thinking of getting a lot of our chips, they're oftentimes fried and have a lot more oil and salt. So we can kind of control how much we're putting. So using a pizza cutter is a little bit easier, and as you see here, it's just going to make it a little bit prettier. Maybe.
Yes, definitely easier for sure.
And so we'll just take all these and we'll just lay them flat on
easy enough.
the baking pan. And then what you can do is just, if you have a spray, it's a little bit easier. If not, you can just drizzle a little bit or even toss a little bit of olive oil. But we'll just put a little bit on the lid here to show us. So if you just want to take a little bit there and kind of drizzle it over.
And you can, you can use your hand and kind of spread it in.
Make it a little easier. And then just a little bit of salt and pepper. So you'll notice I do have the kosher salt.
Right.
Salt is salt. Doesn't really matter what you use. It's going to increase the sodium, raise that blood pressure. So you just want to be mindful of how much you're using.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
Kosher and sea salt, you are able to see these granules a little bit better, so that makes it easier. And then just a little bit of pepper. And the pepper's good unless you just don't like it too much of a kick there. So that's all we do. We pop it in the oven on 350 to 400 for about 10 to 15 minutes.
And that's something that you can use not just for a 7-layer dip, maybe for hummus or anything like that as well. So that's a great tip. So now let's move on to the buffalo chicken dip. That is always a favorite with people.
So for the buffalo chicken dip, oftentimes when we're thinking of you know, the dips in general, we've got a lot more mayonnaise, cream cheeses, things that can add up. So in this recipe, I actually did leave out the cream cheese. We have a little bit of hot sauce, a couple tablespoons. We have the Greek yogurt again, but with that Greek yogurt, we actually made our own ranch.
Ooh,
so we've got, when you're making your own ranch at home, you can use a little bit of mayonnaise in there. I'm not a huge fan of the mayonnaise taste, so I sometimes leave it out. It's about a half a cup of the plain Greek yogurt or lower fat sour cream. You can chop up some chives, as you see here, that we've got inside of there. About a 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then the same for onion powder.
And you just whip it up.
And a little bit of Dijon mustard.
Wow.
So we're adding that in with a little bit of hot sauce with the chicken, baked, skinless, you know, kind of taking out all that bad stuff.
Easy. And that's even a great dipping too. If you have veggies out and people like the ranch, that's a lighter way to put that out. Okay, wonderful. So now let's go on to the little sweet treats at the tailgate. What do we have here?
So this is going to be our pumpkin dip. They talked about earlier how pumpkin is so in season now. So pumpkin's actually very, very good for us. If it's actually got pumpkin in there, it's got a lot of good nutrients. It's got that vitamin A. That's going to be what gives it that orange color. Very good for our eyes, our immune system, as as we age, keep us looking young. So this has about a half a cup of pumpkin in it.
Okay.
It's got about a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and cinnamon.
Okay.
And a little bit of maple syrup.
Okay.
So again, with the added sugar, we're trying to go light on it.
Right.
But sometimes when you're using like a maple syrup or, you know, brown sugar, something that's got a little more flavor, you can use a little bit less.
Right, and definitely something to add a little sweet treat, but without all the calories.
And then we're using the fruit to dip it. You could even use graham crackers or something if you
or
wanted
maybe
something sweeter.
use some of these.
Absolutely.
Maybe instead of salt and pepper, little sugar, a
little
tiny
bit
bit
of cinnamon and sugar.
A little bit of cinnamon and sugar. So now also a huge thing about being hydrated at tailgates is infused water, right?
So a lot of the times we just get tired of the flavor. We say, it's so bland, I'm tired of drinking it. So here we do have actually just the orange slices and the cinnamon. So you can flavor it up with different herbs and spices, different fruits and even vegetables. You could do like a cucumber mint.
Ooh,
so
fancy, right?
when we're thinking of the fall, orange and cinnamon is a good way to do it. And you can actually let it sit in the refrigerator overnight, and that'll help to infuse more of that flavor.
I love that. And really, I mean, if you're a Vol fan, right, you have the oranges in there.
Yes.
You kind of have everything taken
Got all
care
the
of.
colors.
Yes, I love it. Well, thank you so much. We so appreciate some great tips right here on some of our favorite tailgating foods, but some healthy twists on them. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Crystal. We so appreciate it. And we'll be right back.